What's up, and welcome to episode 267 of First Geek 411. I'm your host, Cameron Franklin, and with me as we go on a journey to Critical Role Downfall, as we talk about Twisters, the Olympics, Deadpool and Wolverine, is all the way from West Coast, Best Coast. Emma, how you doing?
I'm doing good. This is one of the few times I will cheer in support of the US of A.
I do love the I'm not patriotic meme, but for the Olympics, let's go.
I'm patriotic.
Yeah. Do you, we'll save it for Olympic talk, because we'll have some good conversation. And so,
predicting your question, the answer is yes.
But yes, whatever it is, yes. And so, before we get into what we have been up to, as well as all those news topics for this week, you can find us on our social media as OneGeek411. Join that Discord. Shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Watch live Monday nights around 6:30 Mountain Time, and find the videos on YouTube as well, where we also live stream. Check out that Redbubble store. And with all that, let's jump into what we have been up to. Emma, how's your past week been?
It's been pretty good all over. A couple of family things have popped up which have not been fun, but it happens. Overall, let's see. I started playing Hollow Knight at the recommendation of a friend, and it's been so fun.
Okay.
It is hard,
yeah,
but that's part of what I like about it, because I can't just rush through it and finish it in 8 hours. So I've been really enjoying that and discovering all of the little pieces of lore and information.
Yeah.
How much have
you played?
Let's see. I would say at least 15 hours, at least, probably more, but that's like the baseline prediction. I have interacted with the needle, the other lady who looks kind of like me, twice. I fought her once, and then I just interacted with her a second time, and a couple more areas have opened up.
Nice.
So been having a lot of fun with that. I started playing that because I was in Seattle last weekend for my high school 10-year reunion, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is kind of, because in case I haven't talked about it here before, I went to a smart science high school, as I call it, or whale school. We call it whale school. It's basically a college in the high school program called Ocean Research College Academy, or ORCA for short, where we did a whole bunch of marine biology stuff, super nerdy. We all graduated high school with our associate's degrees, and a bunch of people have gone on to get their masters and PhDs in marine biology or plastics. One of my good friends is doing basically policy stuff in regards to the North Pole. It's this whole super cool thing.
Nice.
North and South Poles. She's doing a lot of really cool things, as are a bunch of my friends. But essentially, we had our 10-year reunion. Our cohort is 50 people, and a good 20 or 25 of us were there, and we're all coming back together and being yeah, I'm doing all this cool stuff where I'm doing medical research for vaccines because of COVID, or all these other things. So it was really fun to get back together with all these people that I did a smart science high school program with in high school, because none of us wanted to do regular high school, and so we did college high school. And so that was a lot of fun, and one of my friends got me onto Hollow Knight as a connection. And it's also just nerdy, because we're all big nerds. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then I have been playing D&D on Tuesdays, per the usual, courtesy of Cantrip Candles, and that's been a lot of fun. Played this week, and my character, Saphira, just learned that she is an Eladrin elf. If anyone remembers, Saphira is based off of Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. She's always known she was an elf, but she didn't know what kind of elf she was. So she just learned that she's an Eladrin elf, which are the seasonal elves, and she's just kind of been stuck in autumn her entire life.
Huh.
And yeah, so that's exciting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so she just learned. We had a whole encounter with some other elves, and one of them was like, "Hey, you're an Eladrin. You guys aren't common around here." And I'm like, "I don't know what that is.
I'm a me.
I'm just me. What are you talking about?" Um, so yeah, that was fun. And then lastly, but not leastly, I started watching The Chosen because I haven't watched it yet, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm like 8 episodes in, and it's great, and having a good time with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
On my end, I mean, I've been all over the place. And I gotta say, I did not realize how tired it was until like I was driving to work this morning. And I gotta say, it was like a super fun, busy weekend. And man, did it hit me like this morning. And so there's a lot. Whenever we miss a week, it's always like an interesting thing on like, do we cover the things that we did the past week or do we just talk about the actual last week? And all of this is actually this past week. And so it's been very busy. So
Lots of things have happened.
yeah. So first off, Prime Day happened, not sponsored. And with that, I bought a handful of things that I've been meaning to buy for my various hobbies because I have too many. And so here we are. So I haven't started a new batch, but I bought some new stuff for the next batch of mead that I'm going to make. I bought some new jars that are going to make it easier to do like flavored mead.
Nice.
Not just like honey flavored. So really excited for that. I'm hoping to start those next week. And so hopefully in 2 weeks I'll have something to report on how that has gone. And so that was the first thing. The second thing that I bought is a dice mold. Because one of the things that I've talked about for a while is getting into making dice. And so ordered, found one that I was interested in. It was close enough to Prime Day that I was like, I'll just wait a little bit and see if it goes on sale. It went on sale. So then I went to Michael's and bought the rest of like the ink and the resin and stuff like that. And I successfully made, let's see if I can like make this look good, my very first set of dice.
Yeah.
And so they are purple and silver with glitter in the silver.
Yeah.
They are very rough draft. Just in terms of quality, but we had fun along the way, and that's what counts.
That is indeed the important thing.
Yeah. And then the reason that I got this mold is because it doesn't just come with like the normal pyramid D4. It comes with two different ones. And so it has this like, it's like the pyramid, but it has like a point on the bottom as well. So you can kind of like spin it like a top.
Yeah.
And then it comes with a D4 that's like a gem.
Yeah.
And so like they actually roll, unlike the actual D4 or the normal D4.
That just sort of wobbles around a little bit.
Exactly. It just kind of plunks if you're lucky.
It's
And
very
so,
unsatisfying.
yeah. So I haven't gotten to use those yet, but I'm very excited to have them. And I think it's a very cool addition to just not have the pyramid D4. And so, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm already kind of theorizing my next set of dice. And
As you should.
yeah. And it's going to tie into the, I guess the next thing I'll go ahead and talk about. I think I am going to do black and red and green and gold as my two next sets, because those are the colors of the blacks and the greens in House of the Dragon. And so I have been watching this show. Last night's episode was fantastic. We have 2 left as of recording. Very excited about where we're going and what all is happening. And so I think I'm going to use that as my inspiration. We were talking dice colors in Cameron plus Deanna last night. And really enjoyed kind of the ideas that people were throwing around. Somebody, I think it was Sneaky in chat, but I could be wrong, threw out black and red as a combination. And then someone else, who I believe was Chunk, threw out green and purple. That got me started on like character-based dice because I need inspiration. And so that's how I landed on this Hot D set. And so that's been really good. And so trying to think if I did anything else dice related. It's really weird because like the two newest hobbies that I've picked up with mead making and dice making both have a whole lot of sit around and wait.
Yep.
And it's kind of the
Yep.
idea of like, I can be into this hobby for 15 to 20 minutes and then you just chill and wait. And so,
Yep. It's a lot of hurry up and wait.
yeah. And so it's kind of fun in that regard because it's not like a lot of my hobbies are things that are like, I watch so much Magic the Gathering content of like, I probably have watched more Magic the Gathering content than I have played Magic the Gathering, like stuff like that. And then just like video games as a whole. It's like, I watch so much like content around games aside from just playing them. But these are both like great hobbies because they're just like, you know what, like we'll take 30 minutes and knock this out and then have to wait. And so it's kind of interesting in that regard. Also in the realm of TV shows, watched The Acolyte, that we had the season finale this past week. And so hopefully they get renewed for a season 2. Definitely has its highs and lows, but overall I really enjoyed the show. Have you had a chance to watch House of the Dragon or Acolyte?
I have not. House of the Dragon, in part because I haven't seen past season 1 of whatever the main show is.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Thank you.
I got you.
And Acolyte, I don't go on Disney Plus very much, so it's like I just forget that it's coming out or it has come out. So,
and I know you're not like a huge Star Wars fan by any means.
I like it. I enjoy it, but I'm not like, yeah, the new thing is out. I'm gonna go watch it right now, this instant.
Yep.
You know, I'll watch
Definitely
it all
understand.
eventually.
Yeah, yeah. And so once you get to Acolyte, I'm very, and if you ever get to House of the Dragon, I'm very interested in what you think of them. House of the Dragon is a prequel, so you don't
Yeah.
need to have seen any Game of Thrones. Obviously, there's similar themes and house names and stuff like that, but like it's set like
Currently, I
100
will
years
say
before.
the two motivations for me to watch House of the Dragon: Matt Smith and Ty Tennant. For anyone who doesn't know, Ty Tennant is David Tennant's oldest child. So those are my two motivations for watching House of the Dragon. Are two people connected to Doctor Who in some way, shape, or form. So,
Yeah, Matt Smith does an amazing job.
of course he does. He's
Damon
Matt
is
Smith.
Yeah, turns out fantastic actor.
Shocker.
Yeah, and so yeah, he does great. And yeah, like I said, if you do ever get there, I'm definitely curious to what you think for both of those. In the realm of back to tabletop RPGs, played Candela Obscura this past weekend. We had tried to finish a session last week, and we ran out of time, and so this week we finished it. So that went great. No one died, and so always appreciative of that. And so that was great. Loving Hugo, my character who's based on Paul Rudd from Parks and Rec, and so we get to be super goofy and a doofus and stuff like that, and have to have plenty of character or conversations out of character with the other players, because I'm like, there's no way Hugo would say this, but someone should loot the bodies, that kind of thing, or someone should check that out. And so Candela's been fun. I do think I'm gonna try to find a dice mold that's just D6s. And so
As you should.
yeah, because Candela and Marvel Multiverse are both D6 systems, and that's all you use. And so I kind of want the option to make just D6s, or at least make more D6s, because I also feel like even for more traditional TTRPGs like D&D or Pathfinder, you still use a good amount of them. And so having the option to make extras, I think, would be very useful. And then in the world of video games, I have been playing Zenless Zone Zero. 1 second.
Bless you.
Thank you. We got to the mute, everyone. Watch me succeed. And so I've been playing Zenless Zone Zeros, which is the latest Horrorverse game. Same people that did Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. And I've been really enjoying it. I have not paid them any money. Take that.
There you go.
Gotcha game. And I happily would have paid for this game, though. Like, if this was a full price game, like that I could have just paid them for and been done, I definitely would have paid for it. And so I've been enjoying it. It's a fun, like, action RPG. And so, cool character designs, cool world. And so, that's been taking up a good amount of my time. And then I also started playing Flintlock, which is on Game Pass, which is a Soulsborne, kind of like how Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survival are Soulsborns, where like it kind of takes some of those elements, but is not like a full-on as brutally difficult as like Elden Ring or Dark Souls. And so I played about 2 hours of that. I've really been enjoying it. We'll see how much more I play, just time-wise, because we are holding out for the end of August release of all of the games. And so we're trying not to spend money until then. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that drops. And so, lastly, started playing the Concord beta with Chunk the Hut and Sneaky. And it's been fun. My PlayStation does not like it, though. It's been super laggy, and even when I'm like hardwired into the internet, I have just been having a ton of problems, and I probably should like uninstall it and reinstall it, but like now the closed beta's done or open beta's done. So like, at least I'm pretty sure it's done. And so I don't really have a reason to do that, but I'm very curious to how that game's going to pan out. It kind of has a similar model to Helldivers in terms of like, it's a multiplayer focused game that isn't free to play, and Helldivers kind of like took over the internet, and it really seems like Concord is going to not.
That's the vibe I've gotten from it in general.
It's definitely fun. Like, I've enjoyed the game, and it has interesting characters. It has the problem of like, I don't know who any of these people are, like compared to Marvel Rivals, where like you can be like, hey, Spider-Man's in this game, and I can be like, oh, okay, cool, his abilities are these things. And so like there's definitely that problem where it's like I'll play against a character, be like, oh, they can do that, but then I'll go to play the character and I'm not sure which ability is the thing that I looked at. And so there's definitely that challenge. And then at least for the modes that we're playing, they're not objective based, they're like deathmatch style. And so you also have the thing that really annoys me about shooters, which is like you just get hit from a random angle because you didn't look the right way or whatever. And so I definitely enjoy the game. I do think it's getting a bad rap. Like, I do think it's a better game than people are giving it credit for. But
I can see that.
It sure seems like a weird time to release it. And so, and just in terms of like, I'm pretty sure it comes out around like the major releases of the fall, and it just doesn't feel good there. Like, it feels like it should have been a summer game or something, but I don't know. I hope it does well, but like, I'm not holding my breath. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up just because of so much other stuff coming out, but like, I would happily play it if people wanted to play and I had it. So
I can see that.
With that, let us know what you have been up to, either in chats or over in the comment section over on YouTube after the fact. Let's get into the news for the week. Emma, what do you got for us?
I got a couple of things. First things first. Talking about it this week, even though it started last week. But Brennan Lee Mulligan is finally / officially DMing on Critical Role for Campaign 3. They're doing a little section of like flashback historical games. It's like a stretch of 5 or 6 or 7-ish games that are like a flashback look into the past to give some context for what's happening in the present of the campaign. And he's running those sessions with a group of people who are playing characters within that flashback history. And it's that section is called Downfall, and it's super cool and a lot of fun. I skipped a bunch of episodes to catch up and watch this section of campaign 3. And Cameron, you said something before we started that you said you wanted to mention again.
Yeah. So, not having context because I keep up with, ironically, like the publishing side of Critical Role with like Darrington Press more than I keep up with actual Critical Role. So I saw a YouTube video today that was talking about Critical Role Downfall, and I had assumed it was the clickbaitiest video about how like Critical Role has gone downhill.
Yep.
And I do have
Which
to
is
say,
hilarious.
yeah, I feel like Downfall is probably not a good name.
Probably
Like-
not.
Like it just like it just leans so easy to meme on that
Yeah.
like it feels like kind of like I think we've talked about this before, but like if you're ever creating something, you need to hire people and be like, how will people make fun of this name? What acronyms will people use to make fun of? Like stuff like that.
Yep.
It
Yep.
really feels like someone should have been like, maybe we don't call it Downfall.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Regardless of the content, it's probably a super thematic name, but it just feels a little like you're asking for it. And so,
Yeah, similarly, I had to text one of my friends and be like, hey, where does this take place within the historic timeline of Exandria? Because I couldn't figure it out based on what little information we had. Which is apparently, you got the end of the world where all of the floating cities fall out of the sky. That's EXU. Along you've got campaigns 1 through 3, which happen far in the future. This apparently takes place after EXU on /with/in Aor, which is the last floating city before that city falls out of the sky. So, but that wasn't clear, and I feel like they could have made a connection back to EXU in the title to make it clear that this is part of that time in history that's related
yeah.
to that. That then causes a lot of things down the road to happen.
Yeah.
Because as we all know with Matt Mercer, like a lot of the storyline that's happening in campaign 3, he's been setting up since they were playing this as Pathfinder in whoever's living room long before they started streaming. So like it's all super entwined and detailed and thought out. So there's so much information.
Yep. And I'll call out the image that we have on the screen right now is a picture of Aor. That is something that I had to look up because like when I Googled this, like this image kept coming up and I was like, is this a real thing or is this just like a random like fantasy art? And so I do think it looks super cool. I'm very interested. I need to, like on the Critical Role front, they started doing like the abridged episodes for season 3. I need to go watch those. Those are much more my speed. Just when it comes to like 4 hours is just a ton of content.
It's a lot. Yeah.
So
it's great for like if you've got like a project you're working on that's going to take a while and you want something playing in the background without having to switch over. But in terms of trying to keep up with everything, 4-hour episodes are long. So like
it would be
I
one
skipped.
thing if that was like the only piece of content that they created each week.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's so
Not.
much other stuff that they do, and it's just like, oh, this is like I also want to go and like watch more of their Candela streams, but it's kind of like the same problem of like this is like 4 hours, like, and so I'm excited for this. I love this is the most mild take ever. I like Matt Mercer's world building. Like he just does such a great job, and so I'm definitely interested. I'm super hyped for whenever this gets adapted into a Amazon Prime TV show, and I can
We're waiting for it.
watch it there, just as we're waiting for Mighty Nine and Critical Role Season 2 for
Vox Machina.
Vox Machina, thank you.
Yeah. And
for some reason, I thought of all the other great group names except for that one. Oh, yeah,
Yep.
Season 3. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All of the great things.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So that is happening for anyone who didn't know already. To point one other thing out, now that the three big ones, Matt, Brennan, and Abria, have all DM'd on each other's shows. For each of their guest DM roles, they started with mentioning an element: fire, water, air. Which is, it makes more sense in my head. But there's just a little running joke that's fun. So yeah, keep an eye out for that if you go looking for it. The other thing that's more of just a mention to keep a lookout for, the Olympics start this week. I like the Olympics. They're fun to watch. In part because they only happen technically every 2 years between summer and winter, but like every 4 years for season. But yeah, they start this week. They start, today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, essentially the 26th. So, and it's the Summer Olympics in Paris. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Soccer stuff is happening on Wednesday. Archery is happening on Thursday. There's handball and rugby and more soccer happening this week.
Yep. Do you have a favorite? This is my question from earlier in the stream. Do you have a favorite Summer Olympic sport?
Yes, I have a couple. The swimming. Let's say swimming, archery, and then the equestrian stuff. Those are my three go-to watching things. Swimming because I'm a swimmer, archery because I want to learn archery, and equestrian because ponies and horses. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then gymnastics are cool to watch because everyone knows gymnastics the most in terms of familiarity. So what about you?
So as you called out, gymnastics is probably the one that like I see the most of, just because gymnastics should not work. And so like
and yet
yeah, and so like everything that they do is just like insane. And so the highlights are always all over the place versus something like basketball where like that like it's not nearly as like flashy impressive for the majority of the games. Obviously there's crazy shots and stuff like that, but like so gymnastics is super cool. As you called out, I'm very excited for archery. I do like a lot of those like accuracy based ones, and so like shooting and stuff like that. I think that those are super interesting to watch. Those are ones that I do struggle with watching live, just because it is a lot of waiting as they get things prepped, and then
hurry up and wait.
Yeah. And so I definitely do struggle with that. And then I'm really interested in checking out like some of the various team sports, like lacrosse. I think is super interesting. That's a game that like I never played, but when I was in Connecticut, a lot of the youth group played. And so I started watching, like going to their games and watching them. And so I'm interested to check that out.
Yeah.
And then,
tennis is my other go-to.
Yeah,
I forgot about tennis.
Tennis is also a fantastic one to watch.
Yeah.
And then, I like watching fencing.
I also played tennis. Yeah, fencing's fun.
Fencing's always super cool.
I still stand by the internet opinion that there should be one normal person participating in every event so that we can truly grasp the insane athleticism that these Olympic level athletes have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they should. It should be like picked out of the audience
Yeah.
of like a lottery. Like you could apply. Like it's not gonna just be like, hey, here's the high dive. Good luck.
Hi, random citizen. It's
yeah.
like you're a regular person, but you
Yeah.
volunteered to try this out because you
Yeah.
want to try it out.
Yeah, and there should be some sort of like financial compensation. Obviously, there's going to be certain things that like you're not going to let a random person off the street do the literal high dive, just like
No.
safety wise. But like, I think that would be super fun to do, even as just like in exhibition match. There we go.
Yep.
Of
yep.
just like they're not actually like competing, but have them go against like
They're a point of reference.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, hey, before we kick this off, here is an athlete for this event playing against the person from the stands, and just like have that kind of kick off the event.
Yeah. Kind of like when like baseball games do a celebrity pitcher, but like the celebrity is an individual who just came to watch the Olympics and wanted to try it for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. In chat, Sneaky calls out diving, track and field, and the marathon. And so those are also great. Watching diving is super cool. I've been getting a lot of diving content creators in my YouTube feed recently.
Yeah.
And so.
Also, this is semi-related in terms of archery. You guys will see the connection eventually. But one of my friends has just started playing Horizon Forbidden West. There's where the archery connection comes in. Yeah. And I just got a text from her going, Aloy, no, why are you allergic to friends? So I just wanted to mention that.
Feels right.
Because it's related, but also funny, and also like, yeah, I feel that.
Feels right. In chat, Sneaky also says, that's why I love curling for the Winter Olympics. It's the most normal person sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the meme that the like U.S. Curling team looks like a bunch of dads that just wanted to get out of the house.
Yep.
And then like 15 years later, they're accidentally at the Olympics. And
yeah, they're just here now.
They're just there. And so
they didn't mean to end up here, and yet they are.
Yet
so
somehow here we are. And so, but let us know, what events are people looking forward to. Hit us up. If there's a new sport, that like one that you haven't watched before, let us know. As Sneaky referenced, there was the Olympics. I think it was like, I want to say it was 2 Winter Olympics ago, where everyone got super into curling. And I'm always on board with whatever the meme sport is that like the general public now gets to become aware of, and like kind of like takes over the internet. And so I always love those. And so
the one I haven't watched at all for the Olympics in the past is skateboarding. So I'm curious to see what that looks like for the future / this summer. So
yeah, I watched a little bit of it last year. It's interesting. It's another sport that like, because I have no I never skateboarded, so I have no reference for how difficult the things are. I feel like a lot of times it's just like, oh, they did a jump. Oh, look at them getting their jumpy. Of like
they
for
did
me,
the thing.
Like, exactly.
They did it well.
Yeah, it's like, I guess that's what they wanted to do. Like it looked like they flipped their board and they spun around really fast. That looks cool. Like
good for them.
And so, like my frame of reference is the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, which are like the most unrealistic view of skateboarding ever. But like, so skateboarding was very fun. It's a very fun highlight. But it's one that I feel like without a frame of reference is very difficult. But yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've got.
So on my end, I got two things for us. The first one is that Twisters has hit the box office as of this past weekend. It opened with $80.5 million, making it in North America, making it the third largest opening weekend of the year, behind Inside Out 2 at 154 million and Dune Part 2 with 82.5 million. And wow, I gotta say, I did not know Inside Out was that huge of an opening. Good for them.
Great for them.
Yeah.
Good
Side
job,
story.
guys.
Inside Out 2 has passed like Super Mario in terms of like box office for an animated film. And so, and it's like approaching Frozen 2. And so, good for them. I liked that movie.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
it's not what we're here to talk about, but shout out to Inside Out 2.
Shout out to Inside Out 2 and Emotions.
Yeah. And so, Twisters has also had the top opening for a natural disaster movie, passing The Day After Tomorrow, which opened at $68.4 million in 2004. And so, and then globally, it has brought in a total of $123.2 million. And so, doing really well, as Sneaky calls out in chat. Shocked that it's doing this well.
Yeah.
Good for them. Like this. Have you seen the original Twister, and do you have any interest in seeing Twisters?
Maybe I've seen the original. I don't. If I did, I don't remember. But if I did not, I remember looking into watching it at some point. So I don't recall, but I get the general gist of, oh no, tornadoes. It's a problem. Everybody run. But maybe we're going to run right into the middle of one.
Yeah. Maybe you tie yourself off to a pipe and you're okay. Like,
because tornadoes.
yeah.
So yeah, general gist. I may watch this at some point. I don't know if I would go to theaters for Twisters. There are some movies that I'm willing to pay the price of a movie ticket for, and there are others that I'm like, I'll just wait until I can watch it for cheaper, if not free. And this is one of the ones that I'm like, I'm probably gonna wait because I'm not interested enough in it to pay the $20 for a theater ticket. The next movie, however, I will.
Oh, we'll get there.
I will pay tickets for it,
yeah,
which is
we'll
why
get
I'm not mentioning it.
Yeah. And so, original Twister came out in 1996. This is a movie I've probably seen a handful of times, and I feel like there was a time where this is the movie that was always on TV. Of like, it's kind of like one of those standbys of like, go to FX, go somewhere, this movie is showing. And so I enjoyed it for what it was. I have like a memory filed away of like going someplace and seeing some of the special effects for it. Like seeing some of like how they like did the stuff. Not sure at all where that would have been unless it was like in Florida and we went there as like in addition to like going to Disney. But like I have this memory of doing stuff. Like it makes sense that it would be at like Universal maybe. So if anyone has any information on that, I would really like to know. 'Cause like I don't know where that's coming from. But and then yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, both because of the time that it's releasing, but also like it's not necessarily just like a big fandom of mine. And so I am very excited to watch it once it hits streaming. And so, but I really don't have any desire to see it before then. I would go to the theater if people wanted to watch it, but no, like, not enough to like ask people if it's something that they wanted to do. And so, and
For
that's gonna
real.
Yeah, exit. Yeah. That's going to bring us to our final topic for the week, which we do not have an image for, so I'm going to leave up Twisters. And that is that this week is the premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine, the only MCU movie for this year. And I got to say, Emma, I am so hyped.
This is the first Marvel movie I have been excited for since Avengers stuff has wrapped up phase 4. Like, literally, I have not been as excited for a Marvel movie since we lost our dear old Iron Man.
Yep.
And now this is coming out, and I'm like, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I am ready to be hurt.
Yes.
I said this
very much.
I said this for Spider-Man No Way Home. Of like, I feel like I have built up this movie so much in my head that I am not prepared. And if this movie is not good, it is going to crush me.
Yes.
And so,
you and me both.
Yeah. I will say, I believe it either like opens premieres like tonight or tomorrow. So be very careful around the internet if you do not want spoilers. And mute tags, mute whatever, so that you don't see stuff. Just be aware. If you want to go in with the least amount of cameos spoiled, do not watch the latest trailer. It does give away some major cameos, and so so just as a be aware there. The trailer is very good, but yeah, it definitely gives some stuff away. And yeah, so super hyped. We'll talk about this in a little bit more in a moment, but we are going to be doing book club next Monday. And so just as a heads up for everyone, we won't be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine next week. We'll probably try to do a spoiler cast maybe the week after. We'll see. Kind of just see
I
what
will
the
be
vibe is.
coming back from family reunion.
Okay.
The week after next. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure something out. Yeah, I'm like, so looking forward to this. I'm so, again, so scared.
Yeah.
Like,
it's either going to be real good or real bad.
Yeah. The Deadpool movies are ones that I came to late because at the time I wasn't watching the X-Men movies. Oh, here we go again. 1 second.
Bless you.
Okay, we're back. At the time I wasn't watching the X-Men movies because I was like, give the rights back to Marvel. And so now that they actually had bought them, I went back and watched the ones that I had missed. And so, and of course, like, I mean, it's again, a very mid take to be like, it's Logan, like the Deadpool movies, then like X2. And then well, First Class and Days of Future Past are pretty good as well. But like, the range of movies for those X-Men movies is oof. And so, very excited for what this is going to be and what we're going to get from this. I'm also super hyped to get to see them make fun of the MCU. And so obviously that's part of like having all of the fourth wall breaks and stuff like that, is you have to actually understand the lore to make fun of it. And so I'm really excited. I'm hoping for jokes about the Celestial Head. I'm hoping for like all of these like super silly things. And I know that Ryan has posted that there are some jokes in the movie that they wrote anticipating getting told that they couldn't do them.
Yeah.
And then like Disney was like, go ahead. And I'm so concerned for what those are going to be, just based on the other two.
It's Deadpool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect any less, honestly.
Exactly. So, so very excited to see what it's going to be about and hopeful for the future of what it means for the MCU. I was listening to a podcast and they were like, this could be the movie that like is either viewed as like the last superhero movie of like the era, or this could be the one that's viewed as like the kickoff of like a whole new era in superhero films. Like it kind of feels like there's that much weight on it.
Yep.
And so, but yeah, we'll talk more about it. Excited. We'll obviously talk about it over in the Discord as well with that spoiler tag. So let us know what you think once you have seen it.
Tag your spoilers.
Yes, make sure to tag them, hide stuff, and then be careful about spoilers around the internet. But
Yeah.
all that said, that is going to conclude our news topics for the week. A piece of bookkeeping, as I just said, book club is going to be next week. We are in the literal middle of Hefty Tome Summer.
Yeah, we are.
And so every summer we do a theme. And then the theme for this summer is that we picked a book that would be basically impossible for us to do. And so we split it over both months. And so we are reading chapters 1 through 35 of Doctor Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark, the same person who wrote Piranesi that we previously did a book club on. And so shout out to that book and that book club as well. And so we'll be back. Shanine will be with us as we chat through the first half of this novel. And have you finished the first half yet?
No.
Okay. I have finished it, and I have thoughts. And so
Okay.
we'll see. And
I
very
haven't,
curious.
in part because I've started this book once before a long time ago, so like I'm dragging through the part that I've already read because I don't remember where it is I left off.
Yeah.
So it's like I've heard this already. I know this part already, but I don't want to skip forward because I don't remember where I left off. Wah wah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Tracks.
So tracks. But yeah, looking forward. Hopefully everybody can come back, hang out with us for that book club. And then I keep saying this, but we're also #soon going to be doing our next book club tier list, adding the books that we've read to book club to our existing tier list. And so we have been talking about that behind the scenes as well, trying to figure out when exactly that's going to happen. But all of that said, let's head over into the post-show chat. And before we do, as we segue out, remember you can find us as OneGeek411 around the internet. You can join that Discord server if you want to chat with us during the week. Check out more pictures of the dice that I made and the pictures of future dice. Yeah. And you can also, of course, find us on Twitch and YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, follow, all of those kinds of things. Help us with the algorithms. We would greatly appreciate that. And then check out that Redbubble store if you want any of that merch. And then you can also find us at our personal social media. Mine is Humar Whittle.
Mine is I am not prepared with an I in the prepared.
And it's been a great week.
Eat some popcorn.
Avoid spoilers.